Oh, again, what? Sometimes we hear.
Sometimes we hear that one has to fly his own aeroplane in
Ah,
spiritual life. So
okay.
when we see other devotees, our equals, and some is not going so well, sometimes a thought comes, it is his spiritual life, it is between him and Krishna and superiors. Why should I interfere? So
We are never alone. And of course, definitely, if our spiritual life is good and we feel it is flying, we normally want to invite other people into the same space ship to fly together. And it is very important. And I see those people, those devotees who have friends and close friendship, they are actually very happy and very fulfilled. Those who don't, ultimately, they will have some difficulties. So we should always feel that I'm dependent on others in my spiritual endeavors. I'm never alone in my little spaceship. Otherwise, I will only be spaced out in this spaceship. Okay. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, I want to ask that even we have come here to revive our eternal relationship with Krishna, but after so many years also, if we need fulfillment, if he is not, if he is experiencing the relationship with Krishna, then how there is need of, I am telling that there is need of relationship with devotees, but that relationship with Krishna should also be so strong to nourish us.
There is this beautiful story of Prachetas in the fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna comes to them and say, because you are so close to each other, you're 10 brothers, but you're like 10 brothers and you have only one heart. And I'm so pleased with you because of your friendship. To develop relationship with each other is the best way to please Krishna. If we only try to develop relationship with Krishna without caring of other people, then something is wrong with us. We don't understand the basics of the spiritual life. Yesterday I was telling, we were in a place where Bharat Maharaj, brother of Ramachandra in Ayodhya, was doing in Nandigram, where he was doing his austerities. And I was explaining how in Sri Sampradaya they consider the relationship between these 4 brothers, Ramachandra, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. And they say, of course, Ramachandra is the Supreme Lord himself. And Lakshman is his ideal servant, his ideal devotee. He is inseparable with the Lord. He is ready to serve him in any capacity. He is ready to do anything for him. But they say that his bhakti is a very good bhakti, is a pure bhakti, but not the highest grade of the bhakti. Why? Because he has one condition. I am ready to serve my Lord in any capacity, but only if he is close to me. They say that Bharat Maharaj is a greater bhakta than Lakshman because he was serving Lord Ram in separation with him for 14 years, and every day he was shedding tears and thinking about Lord Ram, and his meditation was actually much more deep than the meditation of Lakshman, who was next to Lord Ram. But then they say that Shatrughna's devotion is even higher than the devotion of Bharat. Why? Because he is not serving the Lord himself, he is serving the servant of the Lord. He is the servant of Bharat Maharaj. And he is completely fulfilled and completely happy serving Bharata, his elder brother, and in this way he is serving the Supreme Lord. And that's, of course, the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayar Dasa Dasa Anudasaha. So we develop relationship. There is no other way. We cannot develop the relationship with the Lord directly. We have to go through the devotees. We have to go, we can only feel the real relationship with the Lord when we have real relationship with other devotees. So there is no, and if we have the relationship with devotees, we naturally feel the reciprocation of the Lord. And if we only try to establish a relationship with the Lord, we may be frustrated. There is a good chance.
This class is really relevant, and also we can experience these three relationships needs. So the question is that depending on the particular service, one is having either a junior, equal, or senior. So is it that three of things are required in one's life, or if he's just with seniors, so that goes on? What is that?
No, all,
junior one, those who are dependent.
all three things are required in our life. You will only be, and the family life gives the natural fulfillment of these needs. In the family life, you have somebody who is senior, somebody who is equal, and you have your children whom you protect. So you need all three kinds of relationship because they all have different emotional flavors. And different emotional flavors will give you more satisfaction. If you only try to develop one kind of relationship, you may be successful, but ultimately you will need some other relationship as well. So all three should be there in our life, not only one type.
Thank you, Maharaj, for wonderfully explaining this concept. I wanted to ask Maharaj about, you have spoken about equals. So in our spiritual life, like who we can call as our equals? Can you define who we can call as our equals?
Sometimes devotees are too much hung up of who is little senior, and when they take this lamp after arati, they very carefully going by the seniority level. I don't think it's a correct attitude. Once I was speaking with one devotee, and he said a wonderful thing, which I was thinking a lot after that. He said that in reality, the culmination of all relationships, whatever relationship we may have, is friendship. And friendship is the only stable sort of relationship. Like the relationship between father and the son. Naturally, father is most, senior, son is junior, but at the end, if relationship become close and the son is grown up, they become like friends. There's no so much relationship as a father and son, they're more like friends. If the family life is very good, if the husband and wife have very good close relationship, in the beginning it's very romantic, this and that, but ultimately they become friends. They become more like friends, and they do something together. They do some creative sort of enterprises together, and they help each other on a more or less equal basis. So we can see, and even the relationship between the guru and disciple. I have seen how when disciple become very senior and enter into very close relationship with the guru, there is still, it's guru-disciple relationship, but the flavor is a little different. They are more like friends. Not exactly friends, not 100% friends, but it's there. Or if, even if a servant, a very trusted servant who serves his master for a long time and becomes very, very trusted by the master, they also become more or less equal, on an equal level. The differences are there, but still the equality prevails. It becomes more dominant feature of their relationship. So in a similar way, we should not be too picky or too, he joined 2 weeks later than me, therefore he's junior and I have to give him my protection. No, we are more or less on the same level. And of course, somebody is little, in real life, in our real relationship, somebody is more senior to us in one area and junior to us in another area. Sometimes people are more knowledgeable. They have more knowledge of the Shastras. And in this way, they are more senior. But we may be better in some other areas of our expertise. This is how it works. And we should mostly, when we live in brahmacari ashram, of course, there is levels of seniority, but not too many stages of mostly we live with people who are like equal. And the relationship with peers, with equal people, they're the most fulfilling relationship. And therefore I spoke about them longer. Because in this relationship we really feel very enthusiastic by doing something together and by creating something new and very wonderful. Like these 10 prachetas, they were, they probably were a little different, but they still were friends. And Pandavas also another example of them. They all were different and they respected their differences, but at the same time they were close friends with each other.
Maharaj, you are in the beginning you were telling about that brahmachari's life is simple, but it becomes monotonous. So by that it becomes difficult. But in general it's easy. So and then you are telling that there should be some spices. But in last you concluded we should take some challenges together for the preaching Krishna consciousness or the service of Guru and Krishna. So how we can more add the flavor or spices in the so that we can have together.
That's Srila Prabhupada, he said that we need independently intelligent people, and he said it's the duty of the managers to create the fresh feeling of fresh atmosphere of feeling, I don't remember exactly, of challenge in our temples. Those who are in charge of the ashrams, they have to always think how to create difficulties for everyone else. So that's their duty, sacred duty. How to create challenges and do something, and then only you can feel good. That this is the spice of life. Otherwise, your wife will create some difficulties for you. Somebody will have to create some difficulties for you. So there is this two options.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, how do we become a very strict sadhaka at the same time good in relation with others?
Why I'm asking this, because I have seen when I read myself alone, then I can read with more focus. But when I read with some other devotee, let's say my equal friend or someone, then I cannot read that much length, and I find it not so much focused, and I cannot think so much on that.
Well, in our life, there should be room for our individual practices. While stressing the relationship, I didn't mean that they should totally overshadow our individual practices. We need time to be alone, to be introspective, to read deeply. It's a very essential need of any brahmacari. But there should be healthy mixture of the two kind of engagements. And of course, everyone is different, and everyone has different needs. Somebody needs to have more time for himself and less time for social activities. Somebody needs more time in social activities and less time for himself. But both things should be there in everyone's life. There is nobody who will be completely happy if he is alone, and there is nobody who will be completely happy if he is always socializing and associating with others. So these two elements should be there. There has to be time which is totally dedicated to our spiritual practice, to introspection, to going deep inside.
What you mentioned about this aspect of emotional fulfillment, is it like a our material? Is it a need of our material side of existence, or is it a
No,
spiritual need?
it's ultimately it's the need of the soul. Yes, in the beginning level, it's the need of our mind. The mind to be satisfied, to feel happy, he needs close relationship, no doubt about it. Otherwise, we will feel lonely. But on a deeper level, it's the need of the soul, because the soul is tiny, and being very tiny, it requires, like even in any society, we can see how people everywhere, there is no exception to this rule, people need to feel that they belong to something greater than themselves. And this sense of belonging, like they may feel I belong to ISKCON, and this is such a great institution all over the world. They may feel I belong to Vedic culture. They may feel I belong to this particular country. And sometimes this feeling are okay, sometimes this feeling are completely wrong, completely misplaced. But this is the deep psychological need of every human being. He feels totally insignificant when he is alone, and when he doesn't have this feeling that I belong to something much greater than myself. And that's why there are so many different political parties, this organization, that organization. They actually fulfill the deepest psychological need of every soul. They give the feeling that I belong to something great, to something good. It may not necessarily be good, but like sometimes patriotism is not a very good feeling, because they become, patriots, they become enemies of some other country. And they propagate this, and they will go to war in other countries. But they always explain to themselves that, yes, we belong to this great nation, great country, and everyone else is inferior, and we have to prove our superiority. But whatever way it manifests, the need is there to belong to something, because it's the need of the soul, and relationship is the way to fulfill this need of the soul as well.
Hare Krishna. So we would like to end here. I would like to thank Maharaj for such a wonderful class. I am sure that now spices are added to our lives. And now we can, Maharaj so beautifully brought out just now this message of humility and tolerance. It plays such a great role in our relationships, respect, and how do we actually sustain, and by being in a group and contributing